Hello, my name is Temitope Olodo and thank you for actually watching AIL TV. You know that this program is actually for you. We're looking at the issue of security across Africa. There is need for government to look at the issue of terrorism properly. I want you to write to me. Tell me what you think we should be talking about so that we could deal with it. But not only that, let's get involved because we're going to be starting live streaming very soon and we want you to get involved. Hello, my name is Temitope Olodo. Welcome to AIL TV, and I'm talking today, taking on from where we stopped before on community engagement and terrorism. As you realize, the issue in Gaza has overshadowed a lot of things that have been happening in Africa. But regardless of that, we feel we should continue to look into those issues. Now, as I said earlier before, the issue of terrorism is not a child's play. Many people are dying, and there is need for change. There is need for strategic, engagement on this issue in order to be able to stop radicalization, and also to be able to tackle, the root of terrorism. So I was a bit surprised and I'm baffled when Amnesty International actually released a document some few days ago looking at the issue of terrorism in Nigeria and the fact that over 4,000 people have been killed and that the military could be held responsible for extrajudicial killing. Now, this is an issue of concern because there is need for us to address this issue. Why is it that there's so much distrust between the community and the people that the military are trying to protect or the security services are trying to protect, up to the extent that what we're seeing now is that the people are now rebelling against the military that have been sent in there to protect them? Why is it that the military had to go to the extent of, based on the allegation, killing people without going through due process? Now, there are lots of issues that are happening in Africa, across Africa. We'll see that in Kenya, the police also have been knocking on doors of the Somalian community, and instead of working with the community leaders in those communities, they are actually going in, knocking on doors and picking people up that they suspect to be Al-Shabaab, drive them down, couple of miles along the road and demand for bribes. Now, these are the allegations. And the question then is, why is this happening? Why is it that we're not seeing proper intelligent-led arrest? Why is it that we're not seeing proper intelligent-led investigation that are actually fishing out people that are actually belonging to either Al-Shabaab or Boko Haram? Why is it that Boko Haram could actually cross over into Cameroon and kidnapped the wife of the Deputy Prime Minister? We thank God that she has been rescued, but that also raised lots of questions. So those are issues that we are looking at addressing here. But let's look at the issue of the extrajudicial killing in Nigeria and the police abuse in Kenya. And this is all about community engagement, because you need to reassure the community, you need to boost community confidence. And where this is not done, then what you have is mistrust within the community, and then you have the community not actually helping security services to flush out this. There are rules of engagement that need to be put in place. There are rules of engagement on how to engage people that are not competent. There are rules of engagement on what the military need to do with minors that are caught up in this war. There are ways in which you interrogate people, lining up people, asking them to close their eyes according to Amnesty International report, and then somebody in a dark car pointing out who is Boko Haram, who is not Boko Haram, is not the right way to go. I feel the Nigerian military should have, since this report of allegations about abuse, human rights abuse, have been going on now for over 2 years. Nigerian military should have ensured that all military personnel in the front line, or right in the front line, should have been trained in human rights issues and rules of engagement, so that they all have a certificate to to show that they actually understand exactly what they need to do. We cannot, Nigerian military being a professional, cannot bring themselves so low to start behaving like Boko Haram. That is not good for Nigeria image. Internationally, it's not good for Nigeria image, especially for Nigeria engagement with community, within the community. So we need to change our approach. We need to engage more with the community. There are ways in which you engage with community. Now let's go back to the Kenya issue. The Kenyan police need to change their approach. They need to have an inclusive strategy on getting the Somalian community to be involved in that war against terrorism. And the Cameroonians need to look at lessons learned from both the Cameroonian, the Kenyan security situation and the Nigerian situation, and work on how to improve it. Nigeria, Cameroon, and Kenya need to change their approach on dealing with security issues. They need to get the community more involved. They need to be more inclusive. This is important in order for us to be able to tackle this war and actually win this war on terrorism. Hello, my name is Temitope Olodo, and I'm looking at the topic of women suicide bombers and minors, getting involved in, terrorist, attack in Africa. And we've noticed that in Nigeria recently, there was a 10-year-old minor, 10-year-old girl that was actually found with explosive, and the women that have actually bombed themselves up. Now the issue then is, why are women getting involved in terrorism? What are the drivers for these women getting involved in terrorism? And how could Nigerian government, Kenya government, Algerian government, or African government that have these challenges with terrorism deal with this issue? There are lots of reasons why a woman, a lady, or a minor will get involved in terrorism. And except we develop policies along this line to deal with it, then we're actually just scratching the surface, and there will be more of this. One of the reasons is because they've been brainwashed. Women have been brainwashed to actually take up the fight where men could not actually take up the fight. And this is an alien concept within the African community, because women do not do this. Women are meant to be within the family, household, taking care of the young ones. Now for a woman to leave all that and actually come out to be in the front line of fighting against government, then there is a serious issue and concern here that we need to address. So one of the reasons is either because they become a widow, or because they feel that they have lost confidence in government. Now, one of the things that African governments need to do is that when an individual has been killed, and you know more information about that individual, if you've raided the house and they have families there, they have younger ones, they have children, those children are not part of the war. They have not committed an offense. It's the man in the household that's committed an offense. So those children, those minors, and the women in that compound need to be given the same right and protection that they deserve. Now they need to go to psychiatric profiling. They need to be interviewed, thoroughly debriefed, to understand whether they have grievances. And if they have grievances, we need to look for the appropriate authority to work with them, to be able to debrief them, de-radicalize them. And those are the issues that Nigerian government, Kenyan government, and Somalian government are not doing now. Because what they're doing is that they're leaving these individuals to their device. Now what we found out is that women are actually going out to recruit for Boko Haram and for Al-Shabaab, recruiting women to take them into the forest or into wherever the hideouts of these terrorist groups are, to help and recruit those women to become wives, and suitors for this for these individuals. So that's one reason why these women are getting involved, or minors are getting involved. The other reason why they're getting involved is for property, where people have no money, have nothing, and there are no social structure or care structure in the community to take care of these individuals. Then there is a serious challenge. I'm happy that currently the Nigerian government has actually looked into this issue by coming up with a commission or a scheme to help victims, because victims also could become a terrorist if they feel that they've been let down by government. So government need to look into this area, and other government that have not followed suit or looked into this field, this particular initiative, should follow the example of Nigeria or look at lessons learned from other government to address this issue. There is also the issue of religion. Is there any what you could call brainwashing of individuals by religious leaders? Now, one of the areas that Nigerian government and other African government have not looked into really is licensing of religious leaders. And I would say that there is need for us to do a research into this field, where we're not saying that you should restrict people from becoming ministers, either becoming an imam or becoming a pastor. But what we're saying here is that there might be need for individuals to be registered as licensed ministers of religion. If people are registered and they have to bring referees forward, then you know who they are. You have an identity. You have information about them. You know who their referees are. You know where they live. You know how many children they have, and then you are able to revoke that license so that they can't preach hate. And then you can actually give them a manual or give them guidelines on what is acceptable and what is not acceptable within the community. These are issues that we need to look at. These are issues that we are addressing here at AIL TV through African Security. Thank you.